Welcome to East Coast DNA. I'm reporting here today from the Rodd Hotel, which is the main conference hotel for Music Nova Scotia's Music Week for 2025. It's been a busy few days. Getting around on site, checking out a lot of shows. Didn't do so many interviews this year, but I had way more conversations than normal because I took advantage of some networking. And part of that journey was reconnecting with Michelle. Now, you've been on the show before.
One time.
But how long ago was it? Because I can't even remember because I've known you for a couple of years.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know a little bit about what you've been to most recently.
Yes.
But we haven't shared anything here.
Not at all.
You recently had an album release party.
I sure did.
You have some really cool anecdotes that involve Via Rail.
I do.
And I suppose 2 years is probably enough that we can go back and do a little intro to who you are just in general.
Sure.
So I typically leave the following on social media to the very end.
Okay.
But inspired by getting around and talking to everyone this weekend, anybody that's now new to you can go find you on Instagram.
Yeah.
As the Singing Goldsmith.
Yeah.
And the reason I want to start with that instead of ending with it
Okay.
is because I've been listening to you introduce yourself in this lobby for the last couple hours that
It's
we've
true.
been floating around.
We've spent a lot of time hanging around this week.
And
yeah.
it's always Instagram ends up being...
It's always the first
Everybody
thing.
here does that. They want to know what you are on Instagram.
They want to know what your Instagram is, yeah.
So your name on Instagram is actually unique because it includes your non-music career and your music all together in one
handle. It blends my
handle.
two worlds. Well, two of my worlds. I'm a very well-rounded, worldly lady.
Yes.
That to say, no, I have I have like the kids side of my life. I have like my partner side of my life, but my two jobs are like I have a music career and I also am a goldsmith. Because people do wonder where that comes from, so that's where that comes from. Like it's not like my name or anything. It's like it's my profession.
And now I'm curious, did you somehow already have that before you were in the position that you're releasing music? Because I know
Absolutely.
When we talked to you originally, we talked about you doing you did like Christmas carols and stuff too.
Yeah, I work for a caroling company.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work for the East Coast Caroling Company. This will be my 16th year in their employ.
Yeah.
Last year between November and December I did 34 gigs with them.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a little busy. So this year I'm really busy with other things. As I'll get into, I've got a lot on my plate this year. So I think I'm capping myself at about 10 gigs with them this year.
Sure.
But I'm still pretty tapped. I've got a lot going on.
And outside of that too, I also know of you from collaborating with a lot of other artists that have either been on the show. A few of them have been on the show, and some of them haven't.
Right.
So you definitely have a circuit of people that you've performed with. What's the motivation for you to come out and push yourself like in this environment and network
to be here this weekend? Yeah. So I guess it's been a childhood dream. Like I started performing when I was really little.
Yeah.
And writing when I was a teenager, and I kind of always had that as like a dream, but I never really took it seriously. It was like, that's not really a viable career. You can't really live off of that. And then by the time I realized, you actually can, I was already like pretty far into adulthood.
Yeah.
And but at that point I was like, all right, you know what, I'm going to make a plan. So I made this plan, like a very detailed plan of like, okay, I want to have a recording career. And I kind of had an idea of what I wanted that to look like. And so I just made all these goals, and I just kind of chunked away each year of like, okay, well, this year I'm going to write this many songs. Just kind of have them in the bank. And then I'm also going to try to meet this many people in the industry, try to make it out to this many open mics, try to, just make those steps to kind of build towards having a career that I could build on, so that when my son graduated high school in June of 2023, I released my first single 1 month later.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so that probably was the main content of the original podcast,
I guess so, yeah.
because that would
'Cause
have
yeah,
brought us up to speed.
'Cause
To
we
that
would have
point.
been December 10th of 2023 is when our last
There you go.
interview was.
And
yeah.
if you want more of that era, you can go find that episode. Still available.
Yes.
But for now, the time since you've been on, that's where I needed to get some bearings
Fill
on
in
what
some
we're talking
gaps.
about on this show too.
Yeah.
So I tend to run into you at a lot of shows,
Mhm.
but more so, I know a lot of people that I'll see like at a Music Nova Scotia event or specifically an ECMA event or different festivals I work at. I see certain people that I only see at those festivals.
Sure.
And there's a few of us that do a circuit.
Yep.
And I've discovered from knowing you for a couple of years that you are at quite a few different festivals and events yourself
Yeah.
in various capacities, volunteering and stuff. So
That is strategic, yeah.
yeah, I do
Yeah.
tend to run into you more often because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But in that, I understand the inspiration and motivation behind volunteering. That
That's it.
it's
Is-
supporting the community and a
Mhm.
networking opportunity, right?
Exactly. Like the way I see it is if I want to have people show up for me, I need to show up for them. So I want to kind of get my foot in the door at festivals. I want to meet the organizers. I want to meet the volunteers. I want to meet the festival goers. And I want to work towards being able to play those stages. You can just come in cold. A lot of artists do. But I really love the idea of community and being a part of those communities, especially the local festivals. Like anything here in Nova Scotia, like I want to know the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I do have the Stan Rogers Folk Festival.
I love that.
fleece on.
We were both at Stan Rogers this summer.
Yeah, I think that was the last one that I ran into you.
Yeah, I was
at.
volunteering there like all weekend. I had so many shifts. It was a heck of a time though. It was my first time at Stanfest. And actually being at Stanfest inspired me to write a song that ended up on the album that I'm going to talk about today.
Amazing. Well, why don't you tell us about the album now?
Okay.
And then maybe at the end we'll hear a little bit about the song and we could maybe play off with it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Amazing. So the album that I mentioned at the beginning, you just had an album release party.
I did a week ago.
So when did the project begin? Like it would have been after the single release from 2023.
No,
That's a whole before then.
before then, yeah.
All right.
So there's songs that are on this LP that are old.
Okay.
Yeah. So like there's a lot. It's mostly new material, but like I did use like some older stuff as well.
Sure.
There's so many loud people around right now. But yeah, the plan for this album really hatched like a really long time ago.
Yep.
Like did the video and the like the cover shoot for it like a year and a half before it even came out.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, like so like long time coming for this album. Yeah, Zach Jegal was my photographer. He's phenomenal.
So who worked on the album with you? You had a photographer.
Yep.
But when you get into working on the album, you wrote the songs.
Yeah, well, I wrote the lyrics, and most of the songs I was like a part of the chords, like writing that out, and like all of them I wrote like the melody for like what I was singing. But I have someone shouting behind me. Welcome to Music Week. So I have a co-writer, Scott McDonald, who I like to say that he Scottifies my songs. So with my music, I kind of like I'll write out what I like and kind of just kind of give it to him, be like, okay, this is kind of what I'm thinking, but I kind of want it more like blah, blah, blah. And then he will kind of take that and run with it and come back and be like, okay, here's what I've got. And it's always magic. He's very good at what he does. So there's that. There's one track that I didn't really have him on at all. I wrote the whole heckin' thing. So that's Breathe. And then I have another track, the one that I mentioned earlier, that I actually have Sam Bailey, who I wrote the words to that one in in my band Mabel, and as well as like the melody, kind of had that in my head, and I sang a little voice memo to myself of like, okay, this is how this goes. And then I didn't write out the guitar chords until I was at his house, because I was like, hey, like, I want you to write this with me. And he was like, you got this. I was like, okay. So I sat there and kind of like, okay, and then the F and the C, and I was like, and he's like, B flat. I'm like, okay. Like he would just shout chords at me every now and then. So he participated. He definitely is part of that. So
Amazing.
yeah, so it's a little bit collaborative that way.
And now, as time got closer for the actual album release, when you had to finalize everything and put all the packaging together, is that all kind of spearheaded from you as like directing the whole creative vision of the project?
Absolutely, yeah. It's my baby.
So if you were to recommend to anyone that's new and looking to pursue a career similar to what you're doing now, do you have any recommendations for maybe some of the new artists that are out there? As far as a lot of people have songs and are maybe inspired to work towards putting out an album.
Yeah.
So what tips would you give people after going through that whole creative process?
Give yourself time. Lots and lots and lots of time. And don't put deadlines on things until you are done. Because that was something that I kept doing. I'm very ambitious. I had like a chart of dates on the wall. Of like, okay, I want this single out by this date, this single out by these, and then like, none of these singles were like completed, but I was like, all right, we're gonna finish them by these dates. That just didn't like I finished the album maybe 8 months later than I planned.
Okay.
Yeah.
8 months isn't bad as far as those projects, because they're very a shift in any of those is going to be at least 3 months, usually more. So
the thing with that though is, I mentioned Sam Bailey. Yeah. So he is my co-producer on the album. So he and I have a band called Saltwater Highway with Jesse Patrick. And we were over at his place. We were like a newly formed band, and he was playing us some stuff that he'd produced for other artists. And I was like, oh, that's a sound I want. Like, I really like what you're doing here. And at the time I had my demo already made. I have a home studio, and I'd made my demo already. And so I was like, I want you to produce this album. And he's like, well, I'll do it, but like, it's your album. You have to tell me what you want. Like, you have to be here. So it's like, okay, well, I totally underestimated how much work was actually gonna, like, I kind of thought like, okay, well, he'll be able to just like do some mixing and produce it, and no. So like each track easily has like 100 hours sunk into it. Yeah. Of like both of us sitting there going, I think it needs more guitar. Like, it was, there was always something that it needed, and like, that little less of this, a little more of that. And it's like cooking, and just kind of finding the right ingredients.
So were the older songs, as you were getting to blend with the newer songs, I guess, were those dusted off and reworked at all, or were they already recorded and you kind of used the original versions?
A little of both, I guess. Yeah. So like the things that I had that I was kind of holding on to, were like, I had my own versions of what I thought they would sound like, and then Sam kind of put his spin on them. So it's kind of a little of both. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Perfect. The album is already out.
It is.
So it's available on all streaming platforms?
Absolutely, yes.
You don't have a streaming platform of choice by any chance?
I mean, if you want to go to Bandcamp and buy the album or the merch or both, I can ship you merch and I can ship you a CD. So there's that. But there's also, iTunes and Apple Music and Spotify. Oh, the dreaded Spotify. And but like, Amazon Music, if there's a streaming platform, like I use a distributor. So it's on like 30 something platforms. So it's out there. It's on YouTube. Yeah. So it's kind of everywhere. You can find it under Michelle Calder. And the album's name is Wildling.
So, what's the inspiration for the name?
Okay. So I kind of liked the play on the MW, like how kind of like upside down, topsy-turvy, because I'm an M. I'm a Michelle. And so my first album was Wanderlust. And so this one is Wildling. I'm very nature-based in my content. So on the Instagram. But like just in life in general, I'm kind of a nature girl. So all my songs have little Easter eggs in them of nature, adventure, road tripping, that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's an Easter egg. Sometimes it's just like that's what the song is genuinely about. And so I wanted a name that kind of reflected that. So there's this track called Hurricane. And it's actually the first line in the song. It says, "I'm a wildling."
Okay.
Yeah, and it's followed like, "I'm 10,000 fireflies in a billowy dress." There you go. So it was kind of like that self-expression of like, here's my album, this is me, I'm a wildling.
Love it.
Yeah.
So now I did mention that I know a few things that were recent. So outside of the album release, you also just did a cross Canada tour.
I did.
So there's plenty of little anecdotes that I've heard because I've been around while you've been
I know. I've been
stories.
intentionally withholding anecdotes from you because I was like, oh, I'll save it for the interview. Yeah.
So now I get to hear the stories because I haven't been. You haven't told me the stories.
No.
You've been telling people, and I just have
You
seen
just hear
you around
clips,
here,
yeah.
little bits and pieces.
Yeah,
so, and I know that it involves Via Rail, postcards, Great Nation of Canada.
Yes.
And a traveling musician partner.
Yep.
And a U-Haul.
Yeah.
So let's put that all together into a story.
Okay. So it started off with Sam. So Sam, he lived over on Vancouver Island in Mudge. And a couple of years ago, he moved out east, and he put a bunch of his stuff in storage. And it was entirely composed of music gear. So amps, there were like 6 guitars, a bunch of stands, just a whole whack of stuff that like you would use if you were a musician. And it was all out there, and he needed a way to get it here to the East Coast. And I wanted to go on tour, and we were working on an album, and I was like, you know what we should do? So I applied to the Artist on Board program through Via Rail and got it. So I applied in February, I heard back in May, and like with the approval for a September tour. So then we kind of, once we got that approval, we're like, all right, I guess we're going. So we built a tour around that. So we flew on September 19th to Toronto, and we did a show in Toronto with one of Sam's friends, the lovely Justin Hill. And we did an open mic there as well, which was the Legion. So it was, technically it's not Toronto. I got in trouble for calling it Toronto. It's Port Credit in Mississauga. They don't like it when you call it Toronto. So my apologies, Torontonian, Toronto.
It's like saying somebody from Dartmouth isn't a Halifax person.
They are, though.
Don't say. I have Dartmouth viewers out there. Don't say that.
I'm from Lower Sackville. I tell everyone I'm from Halifax if they don't know the area.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? If I go out to Vancouver, I'm not going to be like, I'm from Lower Sackville. I'm going to say I'm from Halifax because they know where that is.
So you brought that same misguided
I did.
thinking up to Toronto.
Yes.
Or not Toronto.
Yes.
Yes.
That's exactly what happened.
Amazing.
I went up on stage and was like, hello, Toronto. And they were like... Yeah. So we played a show, played an open mic. Then we boarded the train. So we took the train from Toronto to Vancouver. And I misread the email. So I thought we were supposed to land on the 24th, and we landed on the 25th. So what was supposed to be 3.5 days was actually 4.5 days. So we landed on the same day that we had a gig, and the train was late. Mm-hmm. So we were supposed to land at 8 a.m. We landed at 4 p.m. and we had a show at 7 p.m. So it was a little tight squeeze. We like raced to go and grab the U-Haul and then get back to Long and McQuaid to rent all the gear that we needed for the show because we still hadn't picked up the stuff from the storage unit, and then get to the show. We were supposed to eat in there. Did not have time to eat. Didn't have time to change. Didn't have time to do anything. We just like ran to the venue. We're like, we're here, and just slatted into home base and didn't even think to pay for parking. So got our first parking ticket. Yep. Rock and roll. But yeah, so the show went great. But back to the train. So we spent this 4.5 days on the train. So the program that we were a part of, they provide your travel on the train as well as like your meals and your non-alcoholic beverages in exchange for 3 45-minute performances on the train per day. So we performed 12 shows on the Via Rail train from from Toronto to Vancouver. So it was the coolest thing just to be like, this is my actual job right now. I'm like on tour in the mountains serenading tourists. It was super cool. We had merch with us. I had this little vintage suitcase and I had my stickers with me because everyone who knows me that I pass out stickers to anyone who's like ever met me. So I had my stickers, but I also had CDs. And I had my mom's art. So I do nature photography, and my mom paints my photos. So she sent me on tour with like these large prints, but I didn't do this on the train because it's awkward. But I did have postcards and greeting cards. And because it's mostly tourists, like they were buying all this stuff to send home and take home and frame. And so it's kind of cool. Like I literally know that like my mom's artwork of my photos is now worldwide. It's like over in Asia and like there's like Germany and like all these people that I met and had these wonderful conversations with who like took a little piece of my heart home. It's kind of cool.
So they can't imagine that experience would be easy to replicate. Like you, outside of just the fact that I don't know many people that are playing on the trains.
So it's funny because we talked to the guys on the train and like the people who work on the train, and they said you don't actually have to be a musician. It's artist on board. So they had a magician, and they even had two
cool.
little old ladies who came on and just taught people how to knit.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So like
That's
you
fun.
you don't have to be like, and they said you don't even really have to be good. They've had some people on there with questionable ability.
So it's just onboard entertainment.
Yes.
It's something people to do. So.
Yes, that's it. You're making sure that the passengers don't go nuts.
And obviously, like I've heard of a few little bumps on the road, but overall, it seems like it was a rewarding experience. It's something you would do again.
Absolutely, yeah. Like there were definitely hiccups. Like Sam got sick while we were on the train, and then I got sick like 2 days after we landed. Yeah, so poor Sam was like he was down, like he had a fever, like he was just miserable, but he pulled through and was able to do the shows. He just like he would literally wake up, roll out of bed, go do a show, go back to bed. It's a poor guy. Everyone was very concerned, but yeah, we made it through. It was but we made lots of friends, and 100% would do again.
You just got to bring the trooper mindset. You got to march through it.
I am very business minded, so I was like, "This is our job. We have a job to do, sir. You must get out of bed."
Yes.
Sorry.
You got to meet those commitments.
I know. I mean, I could also I can play the guitar. So like that was the other option, was like I could just play for myself. Which, I did play the guitar on tour. Like I didn't do every single show. And I didn't play like the whole show. I would just play a couple songs. But yeah, like on the train, I do have some videos of me like playing my own songs, and there's this one song, Mabel, that like I have a video of me playing, which is actually really important because in part of the lyrics, like it explains like why like it would make sense for me. Anyway, I'll get to that. That's the one we're building up to. So I'll explain that later. But anyways, yes. But Sam was like also very professionally minded and just like, no, I'll get it. I got it. Don't worry about it. I'm here. He just, as he was dying, he's fine.
So he survived.
it was touch and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Then we landed in Vancouver and we did a show. And then we went over to Vancouver Island and we did another show. And we got all the storage stuff. So we picked up the U-Haul, as I mentioned. That was our tour van.
Okay. So seriously, because we purposely didn't talk about this, I was picturing that you were performing on the train.
Yeah.
And driving back with a couple stops, but you did a full tour back and the full. So technically, it's almost like 2 tours because it's the train tour technically.
Technically, I guess.
And so, before we get into the actual tour dates, that the train part, did you perform like all the way across the country?
No, from Toronto to Vancouver.
Yeah, but that's still
a lot of train.
It's half of the country anyway.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And so then from there, you had to do the drive back. So you did dates all the way home.
Not all the way.
Okay.
Yeah. So we mostly did West Coast dates.
Yep.
Yeah. But we had that one date in Toronto to start off. So like it was like it is cross Canada because we finished our tour in Lower Sackville.
Okay.
Yeah, because we finished the tour with a show at the Pink Piano in Lower Sackville.
And that was the album release party?
That was the album release party.
Okay.
Yeah, so we literally did like from one side of the country to the other with shows. So it's a cross Canada tour. And we did drive fully across Canada camping in the back of the U-Haul because when we picked up the U-Haul, we also stopped into a big box store I won't name because I don't want to promote the big box stores. But anyway, we picked up a mattress and chucked that in the back. And we'd actually packed on the plane when we had to fly to Toronto a suitcase, like an extra one, just full of camping supplies. So we brought like so I packed us sleeping bags, like heat pads, like hand warmers, flashlights. I have a camper van. So I basically just packed anything that I thought would be useful that I would have used in a camper van to stay warm. And that was our like lifeline was all this camping supplies. So yeah, so we each had our own little like mummy sleeping bag and we just had this mattress in the back. We bought pillows so that we'd have pillows because I didn't want to have to pack pillows. But yeah, it was very resourceful and, a little cold some nights. There was one night. So oh yeah, I almost killed him one night. Oops. It's fine. He's fine. Lesson learned. So we have I brought a buddy heater with us on like in that suitcase, and so we brought propane. Got propane when we got there. Went to Cabela's, got a few supplies. So I will name Cabela's. I like Cabela's. But yeah. So we used this thing. He wouldn't let us use it while we were sleeping. He would only let us use it while we were awake because he's very paranoid. And you're probably thinking at home, well, yeah, it's an enclosed space. No, it's not. So a U-Haul, you can't lock from the inside. You can only lock a U-Haul from the outside. So because it's like we had the 10-foot U-Haul. And so it's basically just a big box, and then there's like on the front is like the truck cab kind of thing. So you have to put it into the open position, and then you lock it with your deadbolt kind of thing, your padlock, so that someone can't just come along and like close it and like lock you in. But like when you have a door with a deadbolt open, it like sticks open.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you close the door, you still have a gap like this big all along the bottom. So we had this heater sitting right next to the open gap. So it's like it's ventilated.
Yes.
Right? It's fine. We're not gonna die. Anyway. So it's fine. We're getting pointed at. Hi guys. It is Darcy. Anyway, music week. So yeah, when we went to sleep that night, I turned the buddy heater off, but I left the propane thing attached to the buddy heater, assuming it would be fine. That was my mistake. So the next day we were staying with friends, and because we had it was a mix of like sometimes we were in a U-Haul and sometimes we were on couches or pullouts or spare beds or air mattresses in random like friends of Sam's because Sam knew people all over the place. Sure. So yeah, so we had places to stay the next couple of nights. One of those nights, Sam went out to get something from the U-Haul, and he could smell propane. Sam's a smoker. It was sheer luck. He just didn't have a smoke hanging out of his lips when he pulled the door open, because I would have blew him to the moon. Yeah, apparently
filled the back of the U-Haul.
it had filled the back of the U-Haul with propane.
Wow.
Yeah, because it had just leaked. He said that the outside of the canister was all frozen, and oops.
You get through it.
Yeah, nobody died.
So, where were you at that point then? Because
We were in Canmore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, did you have many more dates after that?
A couple, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, I know that how it ends too, like your drive home.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, go
We
on.
had so many hiccups. Oh my gosh. So, so I released an album during the tour on September 26th. So that was a Friday. We landed in Vancouver the day before and had our first show like the night before. So while on the train, I had no service. It was very intermittent. Every now and then we would like come into a city and I'd have some service, but my phone wasn't able to back up to the cloud. And my phone was like 3 years old. And so it filled so full with everything that I couldn't use anything when I landed in Vancouver. Like I couldn't even use my GPS. Right? Like it was like a brick, basically. Like I couldn't make phone calls. Like I couldn't do anything with my phone. And I had an album release that I was supposed to be promoting. Yeah, I was stressing out major. So yeah, I tried my best on release day to like do anything that I could with the phone that I had, and then eventually just had to give up. So Saturday I went and had to like replace my phone. So once I replaced my phone, it wouldn't speak to my other devices. So I had posters I was supposed to be like emailing, couldn't email anything because I couldn't get my laptop to connect to like my email, because my email was still connected to my phone, and anyways, it was very complicated and it sucked a lot. I was very mad. Hulk smash. There's like a Instagram story with me Hulk smashing the laptop. I did not smash, but wanted to. Anyways, all the tech issues aside, we had there were so many hiccups with this tour because I got sick, I lost my voice. We had to postpone the Vancouver Island show by a day, and even then I did sing it, but it was so soft. It was just like a baby whisper. But we have some videos of it, and it's kind of sweet. It was a pop-up show in Cathedral Grove. It's where they have the biggest trees because nature nerd, big tree nerd. So yeah, so I'm just like there mesmerized by the trees, singing my very soft songs to the trees. Trees.
It sounds fun.
It was so fun. Anyway, yeah. So, sorry, big tree nerd. I'm like so excited by just the memory of the trees. Anyways, I need to go back to Vancouver. Right. So I got sick, lost my voice. Had to postpone. Oh, then we went to the middle of BC and we did a show in Canoe at Canoeligans, which I just think is fun to say.
It is.
It was really fun to say. And the bartenders were super sweet about the fact that we had 5 people in the audience. Yeah, but they were the best. Actually, there was a baby there. His name was Atticus, and it was the first time he had ever seen live music.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right? And so they got, I gave them my sticker. It was just like babies for music. And anyway, it's super sweet. But, yeah, so it was nice to have, some people out. Some shows were very low attended, and then we had others that were, super packed. Like the show in Canmore. So we were supposed to be at Arts Place in Canmore, and they it's like a ticketed thing.
Mm-hmm.
They canceled due to low ticket sales.
Okay.
So, but we knew that, so Sam is from Canmore. That's his hometown. And we knew that there were a lot of people who wanted to go to this show. So we rescheduled, but we did it the night before, which meant, we had to change a lot of things around. But we made it work. We filled this place to capacity, and there was an overflow out in the parking lot.
So, quick break for that.
Yeah.
I have been telling the viewers for the last few episodes and periodically beforehand about the importance of buying tickets in advance.
This is the thing, because the place that we filled didn't require tickets, and that's the thing. So we were told Canmore it's just a very last minute town where like they don't really buy tickets at the until it's like the day of.
Mm-hmm.
They still plan to go, and that was the thing. A lot of the people who we talked to at the event were like, yeah, I was totally gonna buy a ticket. We're like, great. But that would have really helped us like a week ago. Yeah. What do you do?
I see it all the time, but I don't often have a real world example while we're talking. So I had to at least point that out.
That's
You've been preached at.
This is it. Pre-sales matter. Like, buy your tickets in advance, man. Yeah. Same goes for like festivals too, especially local festivals. Like, they need that money to make the festival happen.
Yes. Your tour, we didn't finish the dates.
It's true.
So did you stick mostly, you said west.
Yeah.
But did you stick mostly around the BC area, or did you start working your way back to Toronto?
So we did two shows in Alberta.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did Canmore and we did Edmonton. Technically we did 3 because we did a set at an open mic at Tommy's in Banff.
Okay.
That was so cool actually, because we did 3 songs, and then at the end of our set, this couple came up to us like tux and wedding dress, and they asked us if we could sing them their first dance. They had just gotten married, and they still had like their bridal party was with them, and they were like, can you sing us a slow song? We don't care what slow song it is. And we're like, oh, that's so much pressure. Like, it wasn't that I wouldn't want to, but like, it was like I had never heard of a slow song in my life at that point. Like, what's a slow song? I couldn't even think of a single one. So after like racking our brains for like 2 minutes, we sang them Bruce Springsteen's I'm on Fire, since that's the first song from our set, and it was like the first slow song that we could think of. But it worked out really well. Like, they were beautiful. Sarah and Ethan. So best of wishes and luck to them.
Well, I'm going to recommend to one of them that a future anniversary gift could be a live performance. Bring them back out.
That's right. It's true. I know how to get there.
And so with the pitfalls, I know that once you were done with all those dates and you were making the trek back home, the whole thing shut down on you.
I mean, it didn't shut down completely, but we did have some hiccups, yeah. So once we left there, because we had more stuff to pick up as well, so we picked up a bunch of stuff for his brother. So like, we were in a very packed U-Haul. And we had like no room. We were like sardines in the back of this thing, and we're not a couple. We're just we're best friends, but like, you know. Anyways, just get your elbow out of my face. Get your foot out of my ears. Anyway, so like, we then sat across the country in this U-Haul together to drive back. So we somewhere's in northern Ontario, Cochrane. Yeah, just we woke up in like somewhere just outside of Cochrane, because we were using an app to find places that you can park for free, just to like boondock. So we had boondocked, and when we tried to turn the van on the next morning, he turned the key, but like nothing really happened. So then if you like give it gas, then it would kind of like chug very slowly to life. And we were like, oh, that was close. We almost got stuck out in the middle of nowhere. Dang. So we drove to the gas station because we were running low on fuel. We're like, okay, well, we'll just top it up and it'll be fine. So filled her up, and she just wouldn't start. And I tried it. I was like, okay, go. And finally I got it to chug to life eventually. And we were like, it's not working out. So we just pulled into the parking lot of like, it was like a Canadian Tire. So like a gas station at a Canadian Tire. Yeah. So we were like, this is really honestly the best place that we could be, because if we need to get parts, like, we can run in, or if a mechanic, if we can get a roadside mechanic out here, they can run in and get parts. Like, it's really, if we can break down anywhere, this is the place to do it. So right, so we called U-Haul Roadside Assistance, and they were like, yeah, totally. We're gonna see if we can get a mechanic to come out and see you. And so then like an hour later, we get a call like, no, we can't really contact one when there doesn't seem to be a roadside mechanic, but we're going to call you a tow truck. So then like an hour later, they're like, yep, a tow truck is on its way. We'll be in touch. And then 2 hours later, they're like, yeah, there is no tow truck coming. So we're like wasting half a day sitting in Cochrane, Ontario. And they're like, well, we could put you up in a hotel. And I was like, I mean, we want to get home to our families. At this point, it's Thanksgiving weekend, and we wanted to get home as well. So we had a deadline. So we were like, well, it sometimes starts. Can we just do that? And just like, because they wanted to tow us to a depot where they would exchange the U-Haul for one that wasn't having issues. And we're like, could we just drive there? It was like 2.5 hours away. So they like had to call us back and go check with the manager. So finally they got back to us like, yeah, I guess we're okay with that. You could do that. So we drove. We like didn't even stop for anything. We're like, okay, go. We got to get there. So we drove. It added on, because it wasn't on the original route that we were supposed to take. So it added on like a whole extra 2 hours onto the route. So we get there and they only had one vehicle that was like even in our size range. All the other ones were like massive and just wouldn't have worked with what we needed. And that one didn't have a working blinker.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no blinky. So that sucked. And it was at a motel. They were like, well, you could stay here, and we were like, we're not staying here. I want to go home. So called them back, and they were like, well, there's another one 4 hours away, but it closes in 4 hours. So like we had filled up before we started driving, and we were like, okay, we'll just drive. If we leave right now, we can get there. So we just drove. So we didn't stop for meals, pee, nothing. Just like pinch your legs if you need to pee, and just drove. So we made it in time, thank God. And this wonderful, beautiful family looked after us. It was Pembroke, Ontario. So they helped us transfer the load over, and like they offered us like cold water bottles, and like, 'cause it was this like general store, gas station, garage, U-Haul depot combo, as you do in small towns. Anyway, it was very, very lovely. They had literally everything, a little sampling of everything. And they even offered to cook for us. I know, we didn't take them up on it, but they were like, we have a kitchen out back. We can fry you some food. I was like, that is so kind, but like, we just want to go home. So got everything transferred, and then we drove for another couple hours, and we ended up in like Ottawa, which was not part of our intended plan at all. At that night, we were supposed to be in Montreal. So, but we were able to kind of stay on track. So we did make it home in time. It was like a crazy Saturday day, but yeah, we did end up making it home in time for dinner, which was delightful. But yeah, so we had truck troubles. We were both sick. My tech blew up, and we had a coyote incident. That was fun. In Saskatchewan. So we pulled over at this place that like the app said was fine, and we could hear coyotes coming in the distance, and so we like put the food in the front and like locked the front doors, and then just like pulled the doors closed, and kind of, because like the original plan was like he was gonna sleep in the back and I was gonna sleep up front, because we thought it was a bench seat, and it's not a bench seat, and it just made sense for us to both be in the back. So we pulled the doors shut, and within minutes you could hear like footsteps happening outside, and you could hear them kind of like going up on the side of the van. And you could hear like little like barks, kind of like you could hear them like, oh, it's at this side. Oh no, it's down there. It's over there. And like, I don't know how many there were because we didn't look out, but like, as I already mentioned, there's a gap like this across the bottom. And all it would have taken was like one dog's nose to just kind of like shove in there and pop it open and we were cooked. So we had like our shoes tucked into the tracks, and like we had cymbals from his drum kit that we'd picked up, and like there's like these little felt rings that kind of hold so we had those like jammed in the tracks to try and stop the wheels from rolling.
Nice.
Luckily nothing tried to get in, but like I have a video footage of me sitting there with just like my feet, and I'm just like looking at my feet going, there's coyotes outside, I hear the yips. And like it was probably the scariest night, maybe. Our first night sleeping in the U-Haul, though, we did have like someone who like showed up, like just this car full of random young guys who just like honk, 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 honk. We were like 40 minutes down a dirt road with nothing else around, and they just decided to terrorize us and come banging on the side of the door. And yeah, we were fine. They were just annoying.
Interesting.
Adventure.
So once you got moving again and you had a vehicle to get you all the way back, that was the end of performing.
Oh, we went busking in Winnipeg.
Okay. That was before the U-Haul switch out?
Yes.
Okay. So how did the busking work out? That
we made $0.
Okay. So we're not going to do busking on the next tour.
I mean, I will do busking.
Okay. Well, that's
I will. However, I learned, because we thought like, oh, well, we're passing by Winnipeg, you know, because we had stayed at a Cabela's in Winnipeg. So we woke up at this Cabela's, and we were like, all right, well, let's just go into like the city center and find like an easy corner spot somewheres. But I looked up on the website, not the website, but like the internet, and the internet said that a good place to busk was the Forks. So we went to the Forks. There were no people.
Oh, so it's not a good place.
It was not a good place. There were some people, but like not a lot of people. But we did do some busking in the Forks. And we did kind of wander the city center a little bit, and we didn't really find a good spot either. I guess you kind of need a permit to go to a lot of places, and we didn't have one of those. So, you know, it's fine. It was more so, I guess, 2 people filming a video, because we have a video of us singing my song Dance Tonight in the park.
See, as the content creator, that part of me says, oh, okay, well.
Right.
That kind of is a payment in its own.
Exactly.
It's an investment for your marketing.
Exactly. We haven't posted the video yet. We have so much content. So we actually filmed enough content to make a whole like documentary about the tour.
And do you think, like, I know we did briefly talk about that fact. Now that you've had that in your head, are you thinking you're actually going to do that?
Yes. So I am notorious at this point for collecting content and never posting it.
Yeah, you're not the only artist.
Yeah, I have like a massive backlog. It's a little sad right now, of content that I have been taking for years. That I'm just like, oh yeah, someday I should really put that up.
I have a few hard drives full of stuff that I like, despite the fact that I pretty much put out everything I can.
Yeah.
I have a couple hard drives now that have things that nobody's ever seen, and I have in the past year found opportunities to dig into it and revisit it.
Yep.
So I know a few other content creators that have been doing it longer.
Right.
That they also have archives that extend back quite a bit. They are nice to have at a certain point.
Yep.
And like in a year, you might want to do like a recap of it, or if you do a similar tour, then you could dig into that and use that for promos. And
so remember how I said I'm only going to do 10 caroling gigs?
Yes.
This is why.
Okay.
Because what is on my plate currently is editing.
Yeah. Okay. And that's what I was getting into with what's next. Okay.
So this coming year, like my goals are to write a heck of a lot of songs. I'm looking at co-writes. I've got some artists I'm going to be reaching out to for co-writes. I made a connection this weekend, actually. Yeah, I won't reveal who that is yet. But yeah, so there's going to be some really cool co-writes coming up. And yeah, so I want to do that. I want to record demos of the songs that I write so that I can kind of like have those ready to go. And then next year I will start the process of recording like professionally, because I learned a lot co-producing this album, 100%. But I still I really like the opportunities of hearing what other people can do with your work. And there's a lot of really professional folks that I'd love to even just do a single with, just to see what that would sound like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something that I want to explore. And it's expensive. That's the thing. So I got my very first grant. Yay!
Congratulations.
Thank you. From Music Nova Scotia, who is currently hosting this event.
How topical.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's super fun. So I got tour support. So yeah, so they're going to contribute some money towards all of the many expenses of going on tour. So there's that. I did apply for other funding and did not get that. So I'm not just only getting wins. Just like all the other artists out here, it's tough out here.
Oh yes.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, so there's that. So I think I want to apply for album support, recording support, all of that. So that's coming up. But while I am doing all that, I've been really missing being in the woods. So I want to be able to factor more of that into my time, which will also be part of creation of content. So I've got music videos that I'm going to be making. I've got this documentary that I'm making. I'm going to do in 10-part series of the tour, because Sam and I kind of sat down and we broke it into there's I think roughly 10 different sections of parts of the tour. There's a train section, there's a Vancouver section and a Vancouver Island section. There's all these different so yeah, I kind of want to break that down, because we he filmed a lot and I filmed a lot. I have all of my content. I don't even have his content yet. So once I get his content, then I'll really be able to really sink my teeth into it. So that's coming. But I also have I have a whole whack of reels that are ready to go. So I worked with an admin assistant for this tour. So I worked with Claire Follett from Green Room Admin. Yeah, love her. So we did it all virtually because she's up in Newfoundland. But I have a Google Drive, and I would just send her raw content, and then she would create all these reels. So I have a massive thing of it's all content that I filmed, and then she's been able to edit it down into little videos. So expect those to be coming out soon. Yeah, so working on increasing my content strategy, because I know it's super important. I know that you have to show up as an artist, because people want to get to know you. That's why we're here. And I love people. I love connecting with people, and I think I have a lot of things that I would love to say, and ways that I would like to present art, because I see photography as art. I think it is, and I really enjoy photography and videography and creating art with that. So I really want to be able to present that. It's the captions that catch me up, because I'm I made this great art, and then I have to talk about it, and it hitches me up so bad. But yeah, I promise I am getting better.
I love to hear it. And as you're talking, I realized that I said that I've been floating around reconnecting with people, but being that we are at an industry event, all those topics, and being what I do, a lot of those conversations, despite just being casual, I probably know half a dozen people that can help you out with most of those things too. So as you're
all right, I'm gonna pick your brain later. Yeah,
I think after this, we'll have to
have
an extended conversation.
Yes.
I'm glad that we finally get to do this, because I've been wanting to ask you about some things anyway,
and I
think we got most of it answered.
Yeah, well, I think we haven't quite gotten into the album, but
yeah, well, that's what I mean. We have to go back to the album itself.
There is an album.
So overall, for the album, people can go out and listen to it now.
Yeah, it is out there. It has been out there since September 26th of 2025.
And now, what can you tell us about the whole album as a concept? And then maybe we'll play off with the tracks, which you already know. So tell us a little bit about that. But yeah, the whole album as a concept itself.
Yep.
We talked a little bit about how you had some old songs in there, and a little bit about the whole recording and process making it itself.
Yep.
But how many tracks are on this one?
8.
8.
And which is a lucky number.
Oh, there you go. Did you have an overall theme to put them like when we talked about the title.
Yeah.
We kind of get into some inspiration for it, but is that kind of thematically how like the lyrics and everything go between the songs as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, I'm a nature girl. So I actually used like atmospheric sounds from like audios that I've collected, and I bookended them with the songs. So you've got some tracks where you've got like walking through leaves. You've got ocean sounds of like layers of different like takes from the ocean, and I've got instruments at home that are just like shells on strings. So we just kind of like sat and spun those very gently to create these little like tickly things for the ears, that kind of like little clinky stuff. I've got wind chimes, my own wind chimes on one of my tracks. So there's this one track called Dance Tonight. So shout out to Rankin McGinnis and the Broken Reeds. They have this music festival called Blueberry Jam. So a year ago, I was at Blueberry Jam for the first time, and I wrote this song there. And so I was so inspired. Like I really enjoyed my experience, and so I wanted to kind of like write about that. So I used like an audio clip from this year's Blueberry Jam at the crowd at the end cheering, and I put that at the end of this track, but it's layered with other things. So I included my kids that I mentioned before. So each of my kids, they're like when they were having big birthday parties, we would have piñatas. So I took a clip from each kid's piñata bashing, where you can hear them and all of their friends cheering, and I muted all of the times that they were going, kill it till it's dead, and just kept the good stuff. And it sounds like fireworks.
Cool.
Yeah, it sounds like the song ends with fireworks. But it's actually my children mercilessly beating piñata stuff. So there's that. But my favorite, that track is such a labor of love. So at the beginning, I have myself laughing with a couple of friends. We were on a hike in the rain, and you can hear us saying, ah ha ha, now we've got our dance moves. But there's this harmony in the middle, in the bridge, where it's like, and the singer sings, ah, and then the crowd sings, ah, 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 and everybody sings, ah, 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 ah. There's actual notes, obviously, but the harmonies I layered in there, I have a couple of friends. I have Sam in there. I have a friend named Jamie Lowe's in there as well. And I have Sam's cat. So Sam's cat is named Howard, and it's technically not Sam's cat. It's his roommate's cat. But anyways, Sam's cat. So Howard is orange, and if you know anything about orange cats, like they're a little weird. So he's super vocal. He's like right up in your face. So this whole time that we were recording the album, he was very present. And so I took an audio clip of him, and we isolated one of the pitches that just like it fit right in. And then we just kind of pitch corrected it to make it real perfect, and then gave it some reverb and faded it in there, and it fills in a nice little gap, and so now he's part of the album, which I love that.
It. If you go back, there's a few cat references on here, and earlier Zoom calls, I almost always had a cat butt at some point.
I love that.
So apparently cats are a musician's best friend.
Well, some musicians. I'm actually like severely allergic to cats.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, like I almost died once. It's bad news. Yeah. So sadly, I have to keep my distance from poor Howard.
Yeah.
But like, I love him, and he knows it. Like he knows. So there was one night where he just like loved on me too hard, and he booped my face with his tail.
Yeah.
I like swelled up.
Oh no!
It was really bad.
And now, you had said earlier you had already selected the track that you wanted to play off with.
Yeah.
And it's written about your regular tour vehicle? Is that all right? So let's hear what that's all about.
Okay, so 4 years ago, I bought a camper van. just like a 2000 GMC Savannah with an extended roof, so she's nice and tall. And I fixed it all up and was kind of like thinking like, what do I name it? What do I name it? I don't know. I kind of asked Instagram, and I got some hilarious suggestions, but in the end, I settled on Mabel. So Mabel is the name of my grandma, my maternal grandmother, and I'm going to spoil the song for you right now. So my grandmother, she never learned how to drive, and she played the guitar. But I didn't even know that till after she died, when they were like, oh yeah, here's her guitar. It was like, what? She had a guitar? She played it, but like not for anybody. And I guess she sang, but like not for anybody else, just kind of for herself. And so I had bought this van so that I could do shows outside of the HRM. Because at that point, I've been camping in my car for like 4 years, and it's tight when you've got all the gear and a mattress back there. It's a little tight squeeze. So, I wanted a camper van that I could take on tour. So, I named my camper Mabel to take my grandmother on the adventures that she didn't take.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't believe that I knew that.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know how we missed that, because I've seen Mabel before. I've never.
Yeah, you've met Mabel.
And I've never asked.
Oh.
I didn't have to ask what Mabel referenced. Mabel's the van.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love the background.
Aw.
And so the song itself is kind of a dedication to her as well, then?
Absolutely.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
I love to hear that.
Yeah, so I went to Stanfest this summer and was really inspired by like the singer-songwriter style writing. Like I've been exposed to that, but it was my first time at Stanfest where you're kind of indoctrinated. It's everywhere. This is what you're listening to while you're here. And like I was volunteering, so I was like entrenched, but like not in a bad way. Like loved it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I came home from Stanfest, and in Mabel, I wrote the song Mabel, and at that point we had the album like almost done, and there was another track that was like supposed to be in its place, and I booted it out. It's like, nope, this is the one.
Amazing.
Yeah, no regrets either. Like that other one is still there. I have songs in the bank, but yeah, like so for the next album. There's stuff, but yeah, I'm not dry on songs, but
amazing.
Anyway.
Well,
yeah.
I love to hear that there's new stuff coming too, because that's always something that I ask artists, even if I know that they just had a new album out. So I definitely recommend that people go out and follow you so that they can keep an eye on new material coming out. It sounds like you got a lot of content to keep people interested in between.
Yeah, like my strategy this year, I think, is just connecting with people. It's trying to organically kind of build that fan base of, and it's not so much about like a fandom thing. Like I'm not looking for that in a way, because fans, like the word fan just feels weird. Like it's disconnected. You know, it's like this person is a listener and I'm performing. Where like I don't know, I'm more comfortable with the idea of like people all just kind of sitting around a campfire, and we're just in this together, just kind of like providing like a connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I like that idea. So I want to do more of that. So I'm going to try to book more shows this coming year, because I've been slacking on booking shows this past year, because it took me 10 months to make the album.
Yeah, I was going to say you had a lot on your plate with what you were doing.
it was a solid 10 months of like 4 to 5 days a week, from about 6 p.m. until about 2 a.m. Working with Sam. Like I'd pick Sam up from like the bus terminal on his way home from work, and we would just work until the wee hours, until we were too tired, and then I would go home, and then I get up, and then I would go to my day job, as would he. Like this is life of a musician who's like not quite full time yet. Like we still have to work day jobs and work all this stuff, and then I have to do the social media, and I also need to do like accounting stuff. We have to like run it like a small business. It's so much that goes into this, and then we go to things like this, which we adore.
Yes.
But it also takes a lot of preparation, and there's so much that just goes into being a musician. I don't regret taking this route at all. Like I'm really happy that I did it, but it's a lot of work.
We'll definitely have to make sure that we don't wait another 2 to 3 years before we have you back on for an update on what's going on.
Yeah.
I definitely have a few things from this conversation I want to chat with you off camera.
Absolutely.
So for now, maybe we'll give people a little sampling.
My Mabel.
So as we play off at Mabel and people are listening to it, if you're watching this on your computer, you can open a second tab and it will keep playing the audio. I'm sure I have a wonderful graphic to go along with it. But if you feel like opening a second tab, you can go out and follow Michelle on other social medias. So where do you want people to find you out there and keep track of you?
Oh, okay. So over on YouTube, if you're on YouTube right now, I am Michelle Calder's Music. If you're over on Facebook, I am Michelle Calder -music page. On Instagram, I am the Singing Goldsmith. I have a TikTok. You won't really find a heck of a lot there. I have it to watch my kids. But I am mother of sock. My son is here to steal your socks, and I am mother of sock. But that's pretty much it. Bandcamp. You just look up my name. What else do I have? I can't think of any other social media right now. I think that covers it.
And if they follow you, they will know in the future you can give shout-outs to the other platforms too, I suppose. But
so if you go on my Facebook or my Instagram, I have a website. I suppose there's that. So www.michellecalder.com. And that kind of has... I don't keep it with like update stuff. Like you won't find news there, but you will find resources there. So you'll find all my song lyrics there. You'll find
amazing.
Yeah, and I have an EPK on there. I've got like a bio, like many bios. So if you're like a venue and you need a bio, you can find one there. I have like a history, almost like my IMDb is that the word?
Yeah.
I have that. I have my own version of that. You'll get to hear all about the interesting things that I have been involved in over the years. Did you know that I was once in a music video with Jonathan Torrens about Lost Mittens?
Yes, that's one weird Easter egg that I knew about you. I don't, and it wasn't on the show.
And I was also once in a music video with Classified and Jim Leahy.
That one I did not know.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to want to go watch that.
Okay.
So we'll play off with Mabel.
All right, cool.
People are going to go out and follow you online.
All right.
You're going to subscribe to East Coast DNA if you haven't already, but I think that most of you have already subscribed if you're watching this. So if not, hit subscribe now. And we'll play off the song, but we will bring Michelle back.
Yes, please.
And you can go to her website to keep track of updates. Social media will have a bunch of reels coming out.
Mm-hmm. Well, the social medias will have the updates.
The updates will really be there.
My website has the resources.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
And so are the lyrics for the new album there too?
I don't know if they are.
They will be soon?
They will be soon.
I'm going to hold you accountable to that.
Okay. But I promise that before this comes out,
yeah,
I will have them up there.
You have enough time. We'll make sure that happens.
Perfect.
I'll give you the time.
They'll be up there
too.
Yeah.
And as far as the music, they can go find you on Spotify. Everything. If you're in the car, go ahead and stream it through Spotify. But I really do. I know you said it already, but Bandcamp is huge.
Bandcamp is huge.
It can support the artist.
Absolutely. Like that money goes directly to me, and I'm able to kind of
Unless you know a million people and you want them all to stream the same songs,
sure,
that would help.
Sure, if you feel so inclined. But like I know there's a lot of controversy with Spotify right now, and a lot of artists are pulling their stuff from Spotify. I was talking to another artist today who just pulled their stuff, and I'm conflicted because I'm kind of in that position where, like, as an emerging artist, like the people who give me opportunities use that as a metric to judge whether or not they want to give me opportunities.
Yeah.
And I kind of need that as much as it sucks. Like do I want opportunities or do I want to stand with Spotify?
The market will adjust if it's going to. Because if we all boycott the application, it just
I
goes
know.
away, then we need something to fill the vacuum.
Yes,
and
yeah,
I know
yeah,
there's a
yeah.
lot of other streaming platforms.
Yeah,
You know what? Use those. Go ahead.
please do.
If you make another one really popular,
Yes.
then it will just be the leader in the market.
Please, just pick one.
And then
I
the
hear
other ones
Tidal
will
is great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tidal is great. And
Yeah.
the one thing about Tidal,
Yeah.
I have used it.
Yeah.
The one thing about that compared to the other platforms, aside from Bandcamp,
Okay.
they pay out the artist the
Mm.
highest percentage value per stream.
Love that.
So if you're getting the same type of traction there, you would get paid more.
Perfect.
So
That'd be
definitely
great.
Tidal's a good one. Keep your own chosen platforms.
Yeah.
But Bandcamp, definitely go in there and poke around. And
Mhm.
I've seen some of the merch, and we didn't really get into it, but
Oh,
there's a lot of interesting
I have
things out
T-shirts.
there.
I have tote bags. I have air fresheners that are Mabel themed. They say "My adventures, she abides," which is a lyric from the song. The T-shirts and tote bags have lyrics from the song "The Way," which is on the album, and I have button packs because I have like little buttons and sizes and stickers that kind of come with that. I think that's all I have on the website, but there's also a link to. So my mom is so cool. So my mom, as I said, she paints my photographs. So she has a website for the art gallery that she owns.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she's so cool. So she owns the corner gallery in Enfield. And so she has her art there. So she has it on like her website that you can purchase from there. Anyway.
Now I have
Mom.
even more stuff to talk to you about when we're off camera.
Right?
So let's get to the song for now, and I'm going to pick your brain about the art gallery thing too.
Yeah.
Great.
Betty
Amazing.
Calder, the
I-
Enfield Corner Gallery. Go
I'm-
check it out.
I'm glad we finally sat down to do this catch-up because now I have a whole bunch of new questions for you. So look for Michelle to be coming back in the near future. Amazing. Thank everyone for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on your show.
Yeah, well, thank
I
you for spending
very
the
much
time.
appreciate it.
And we'll
Yeah.
see the rest of you out there at a show.
Yeah, or, where Music Week.
Yes.
Yes,
Exactly.
or, I mean, at this point, Music Week will be over by this time it comes out. But we will see other events, like ECMAs
ECMAs in May.
in May.
Definitely see
We
you in
would
Sydney.
definitely be there in Sydney.
Great. It's a plan.
All right. We'll see you there.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
She's not a fancy girl. Her outside is marred and worn, but she wraps me in her comfort, and her light, it keeps me warm. She overheats when it's 25 degrees, and she stalls when I turn the key. About 10% of the time, her left blinker sticks till I remember to turn it off. But my adventures, she abides. My mother's name was Mabel, and she never learned to drive. And she played guitar, but never for others' ears. So I named my tour van Mabel, to give Mabel the adventures she missed while here. The last summer my brakes gave out, and I nearly crashed and died. But in '09 I stood, anguished hands in pockets, at Mabel's feet where she laid, and took her last sip of life. And now her soul is with me always, she saved me the day the brakes gave out. Guardian angel of her namesake and me, no doubt. My mother's name was Mabel, and she never learned to drive. And she played guitar, but never for others' ears. So I named my Torvin Mabel to give Mabel the adventures she missed while here. Oh, my mother calls me camper mom, keeps Mabel's memory alive just like this song. And I will sing of her for the rest of my days, traveling around, showing her my ways. So from the foot of my bed she sings me back home. My mother's name was Mabel, and she never learned to drive. And she played guitar, but never for others' ears. So I named my Torvin Mabel to give Mabel the adventures she missed while here. I'm giving Mabel the adventures she missed while here.